Thank you.
The losers final underway with the first pitch coming up in just a few seconds. Winner has a date with the Walter State Senators tomorrow in the championship game. Loser will head home. Spencer Thompson and Austin Ray, first pitch off the bat, deep towards the wall. And almost over the fence, hit off the wall, attempted safe at second for the double.
They already getting fired up for it, and they're not going to mess around today. They want to get out of here, get out of this cloudy weather, and they want to go ahead and get a rematch with Walter State.
DJ Wright for the Green Jays getting that, who yesterday had a fantastic performance with it was a fantastic performance throughout the tournament, but yesterday against Walter State, a 3 at-bats and left on base twice with being struck out once. The Senators got the best of the Green Jays yesterday to end their winning streak, and a swing and a miss there for Travis Reeves. The 2019 baseball tournament for the TCCAA coming to a close tomorrow. With the championship game, the Senators await the winner and get an extra day's rest. But the Green Jays and the Eagles have faced off against each other before. 7-5 victory for Jackson State earlier on. Grounder heading to the left side, and the Green Jays send their first runner home. 1-0 already for Jackson State.
Great base hit right between third and short. That's where a lot of our great base hits has been, especially when it comes to runners in scoring position. They're looking just to get that ball right into the outfield any way they can, ground ball or a line drive, and that's just a great way of showing it just to get the run score in.
This game was originally set to have first pitch at 1 o'clock, but due to the storms and weather, delayed 5 hours for the first pitch, and the championship game was originally scheduled to follow at 4 o'clock, but there is not a second game today. They will have it tomorrow at some point. Early word is noon, but once that time is confirmed, then we will give you the official. And the 2 home run man who has now 12 home runs. He almost got surpassed by his teammate DJ Wright if it had gone just a little bit over, and has 2 home runs thus far in the postseason. Looking for number 3. Hasn't gotten one in the last 2 games, and fouls that grounder. Spencer Thompson and Austin Ray, we've been on call for all the previous 14 games on game number 15 of 16 guaranteed, 17 depending on if either of these teams who escape out of the losers final can give the Senators their first loss of the tournament. And DJ Wright gets struck out. Wright just having a lot of struggles in the last few games.
Yeah, he's probably landing those 2 home runs, get to his head. He's a big, powerful hitter. He just needs to focus more on the pitches that he can really drive and work line drive up and really get a focus on his batting.
And there's one by Derek Junker to left with the runner now on first and second. That is hit number 46 for Junker as the Green Jays updated their stats as of yesterday.
Now batting number 33, the designated hitter, Javon Greer.
Seth Weiss, the sophomore lefty on the mound with a 4.59 ERA and 39 strikes, 22 walks out of 51 innings pitched. He's had one complete game in 14 appearances. He's already allowed for 1 run to be given up and 3 hits for the Green Jays. There's outside for Jackson State's Greer, who has the regular DH throughout this tournament, is at 43 hits and a 532 slugging. Faces the 1-0 and gets a piece of it there, sending it deep left. Is that out of here?
Back, and
gone. Make that home run number 9 of the playoffs a 3-run homer. 4-0 Green Jays.
Wow, just a great hit right there. Turned on the ball and let it go. He just let that ball go loose, and he really got the advantage on the pitcher now, getting that 3-run home run, and already got the pitcher rattled enough just so that Walter State's coach can come in and have a talk with him. And I think they're even making a pitching change already.
They've got the pitcher warming up in the bullpen, and he's coming out already with 1 out in the top of the first. The Eagles making a change. Geraldo Soriano takes the mound after 1 out and 4 runs allowed, including a 3-run homer. And Soriano, the freshman right-hander, has 40 innings pitched with a 4.73 ERA. The Eagles not taking any chances, especially with the Green Jays getting the same exact start that they had against the Tigers last night.
Yeah, and it's almost like they're giving Dyersburg a little piece of their own medicine from last night, saying, y'all did a great win, but we could do better. And right now they're showing the 4 hits and 4 runs, even though it wasn't like how Dyersburg did last night with the first inning grand slam, but it's still tossed it right there with it being 4-0.
Bo Simpson had his struggles last night, but gets a base hit.
And he got it.
Just catch there. Would have been a base hit if it hit the ground, but out number 2.
Great diving play by the left fielder, too. Reading the ball, almost had a little bit of a late jump just because he was trying to read it and saw that it was coming in way too hard, and it was dying down, so he just took a leap of faith and make a diving play and did a great job of it.
Here's the man who got shut down last night by the Senators, Alex DeRiggi, trying to bounce back after had a 3-run homer 2 games ago. Got completely shut down with 2 at-bats. He managed to get the only run in for the Green Jays, and he's been walked once. He was walked once yesterday and left on base twice. So he managed to get one run for the Green Jays out of the 2 runs that they had yesterday against the Senators. And faces the 3-0. And DeRiggi coming into this game as a 200 average and struck out 53 times through the postseason, and make that walk number 24. Now, Khalil Dunn, another name we mentioned a lot for the Green Jays, a freshman outfielder, has a 236 average coming into today. Yet against the Senators yesterday, he was at bat 3 times. He had an RBI for yesterday with a hit, and he got struck out once, left on base once, and with a 4-0 start, trying to ride that motivation from the earlier scores. Trying to use that motivation to get back in this one. Here's the 0-1. Evened up at Dave Hall Field with 72 degrees. The wind again blowing towards left field. Cloudy up in the skies. It's amazing how nature works, to where the hit goes to center field and
scared a pitcher right there too.
So Soriano just moved out of the way of it. Runners on first and second now. Kaufman steps up with a 292 slugging and 11 runs coming into today and 9 RBIs. Been struck out 21 times. And the Green Jays now have 2 men on base with 2 outs. Chance to do some more damage in the top of the first. And again, it's amazing how Mother Nature can work in quick ways. Yesterday and the last 3 days, we had completely sunny skies with barely any clouds, especially yesterday. Yesterday, we didn't have any clouds in the sky. Grounder goes to the second baseman and can't keep control of it. Ruled an error on the second baseman, and now bases loaded. And DJ Wright, coming in today with a .730 slugging. He has a total of 11 home runs coming into today, one behind his teammate C.J. Clark, who got 2 of those in the postseason. Total of 60 hits on 159 at-bats. Faces 2 outs here, and with bases loaded, we might very well see at least run number 5 here. Strike 1.
I'm pretty sure that's what the Green Jays are hoping right now too, is to see run number 5 and get way ahead in this ball game, even before Dyersburg could get up and get in that bat.
Even count, and Coach Lexford Riggy to stay on third.
No point in wasting that when you only got 2, and they got a perfect situation to where they can have a run scored.
So even count at 1-1. One and 2 count now for DJ Wright, who's been struck out 18 times and has got bases loaded. And he's essentially due for a home run at this point. He's had 11 in the regular season, none at all through the postseason, and gets a grounder, bounces past the
He got the 2
pitcher,
RBIs right there.
and they're going to send a second runner home, slide in. Not this time, but 2 more runs, 6-0 Green Jays.
That works just a little better than Grand Slam, just making sure to get at least 1 run in, and he overtopped it by getting 2.
And the Eagles warming up yet another pitcher in the bullpen as the frustration continues for Dyersburg. It's Travis Reeves, 23 RBIs and 394 slugging, faces the 0-1. Dave Hall Field has been a host to some great action throughout this tournament, and the rematch of the second round of the winners bracket taking place right now. A lot more higher stakes as one team will be sent home and one will head on to face off against the Senators for the title. But of course, it's an even more difficult hill to climb for whoever escapes of this, because they have to beat the Senators twice to claim the title. They have to beat them once to at least force it to game 2 and advance to second and third with the ball heading into the dirt. It's going to be interesting to see how the Eagles try to bounce back from this in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and really they're already a loud team in the dugout, and that really takes an effect on their batters, which makes them want to strive to do better when they're in the box, and usually that comes up for a good base hits and a good rally for them to start with.
Even count with 2 outs. And another foul there into the mesh. Well, Soriano and Weiss are going to have really increased ERAs after this. Or at least more so Weiss with allowing 4, and that's Weiss's 5th home run allowed, and he has the most allowed of any pitcher on the team. And struck him out. So with the bases loaded, the 3rd out heading to the bottom of the first, couldn't ask for a more perfect inning for the Green Jays as the Eagles are going to try to respond. Blake McCutcheon, wearing the jersey number 20 for the Eagles, leads off. As the starter is Sergio Pazzi for the Green Jays. With a 5.29 ERA, he faces the 4.09 slugger. McCutcheon with 3.41 average, and he's been struck out 25 times. Patsy trying to help the Eagles strike back to that nightmare beginning for Dyersburg, and make that a foul. Count remains 1-2.
You know, the pitcher Passy, he has the 5.29 ERA, but he's only given up 1 home run, and he's facing McCutcheon that has no home runs yet. So it's a good matchup for both of them. You got a good base hitter, and you got a really good strikeout pitcher too with the 67 strikeouts.
And grounder right to the pitcher. Just didn't even take a rush on that. And 1 out.
Next batting, number 5, the center fielder, Evan Gillum.
Gillum with a 3.79 average. The freshman outfielder is on appearance 154 coming into this. Has 58 hits and 11 doubles. Faces strike 1. Doesn't even swing. Both of these teams both of these teams around 2 hours away. Dyersburg a little bit over 2.5 hours away. As the umpire has a discussion with the pitcher there.
I think they're just checking the ball for scuffs right there, just so the pitcher doesn't have an advantage to it.
Count 2-1. And fair hit to left field, just gets inside the line. Send in for double number 12 for Evan Gilliam. Now Drew Reckert steps up, who leads the Eagles in home runs with 6. He's got a 580 slugging and 386 average. He's been one of the star players in the tournament for the Eagles as they managed to get through here to this losers semifinal. The 1-0 face with Gilliam on second. Patsy for the 1-0. Staring down the guy on second base. Here's the 1-0. It's hit by the pitch, advancing to first. And Reckert a little bit frustrated with that one.
Now batting number 23, the second baseman, Luis Rodriguez.
Dyersburg, the 17th highest team in the nation for the times they've been hit by the pitch. Now a runner on first and second with Luis Rodriguez, who's had a few home runs throughout the tournament. He's at home run count number 5. Faces the 0-1. Now the 0-2 for the man who's been struck out 26 times coming into today. The 301 average. Just one out here for the Eagles. They trying to prevent a scoreless inning from occurring. 1-2 as runners advance to second and third. So now the Eagles in scoring position, and with Rodriguez having a 481 slugging, it's a good chance here for a base hit. Here's the 1-2. Inside for even.
Yeah, Rodriguez having 39 RBIs too. He knows how to drive people in, and he's actually the one last night that started off hitting real well and actually got the grand slam in the first inning. So he's someone to really watch out for, especially when it comes to getting RBIs.
He got struck out there, and out number 2. Yeah, Rodriguez not happy about that one. Christian Martin with a 560 slugging has a 380 average and 477 on base. Third most appearances on home plate for the Dyersburg State. 16 doubles and 1 triple. Martin leads the team in doubles as well. Struck out 27 times, but facing the 0-1 here. Even count.
Yeah, he has one of the highest slugging percentages too, with the 560 and the 380 average. So he can really hit the ball well and get the balls through the gap, know the timing to do that with. And he just has a great feel of the game, and he's so comfortable when he's up at the batter's box too.
Faces the 1-2. Evened up. Make that another strikeout, and no runs in the first inning for the Eagles, but the Green Jays with a fantastic start are back up to bat. C.J. Clark leads off for the top of the second. Looking for a home run number 13. He faces off against Soriano. C.J. Clark looking for his first home run since 2 games ago. Gets a deep hit there, but an out. Derek Junker stepping up with a 296 average. Oh, 1. And Junker has an on-base percentage of 384 out of his 152 times at bat. And 45 hits, gets a piece of that one for 0-2. One, 2. One, 2. Gets a hit to left center. Out number 2.
Now batting number 33, the designated hitter, Javon Greer.
D.H. Greer, the freshman, is 309 average, on base 394. 10 doubles and gets a grounder fair. Nice diving catch by the third baseman off of the ground, and all zeros for the Green Jays in the second inning. Kylan Johnson in the bottom of the second tries to get something going here for the Eagles, and strike 1. Johnson with a 388 slugging at 284 average. Has been struck out 39 times and faces the even count. 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Evened up. And Johnson has been walked 15 times, and strikeout number 40.
Now batting number 15, the designated hitter, Tyner Hughes.
And here's Tyner Hughes, again, another player we've saw in yesterday's game. With a 533 slugging, 267 average. He's only had 15 appearances. The swing there fouled off of his foot, so trying to walk it off. And Hughes with 4 hits and 1 double, 1 home run faces the 0-1. Strike 2. And Hughes coming into this, for every 3 times he's at bat, he gets struck out once. Trying to reset that statistic here.
Yeah, and really he just needs to stay focused and watch the balls go through the zone here and there. Not saying you don't have to swing at everything or look at every pitch that you get, but first pitch, you can watch through the zone, and that's no big deal. You're getting your timing down, especially at your second at bat. You always want to get your timing down. There's always room for that. And then the second pitch or the third pitch that's down the zone, you're ready for it, so you just go ahead and take advantage of it. And that's how you get the easy base hits usually, is when you watch the first one and then you start looking out more and finding your timing with it.
Second foul. Both of those back to back. And 1 out in the bottom of the second here. As interesting thing about Sergio Pazzi, he is essentially the ace for the Green Jays with 6 complete games, and allows hit to go foul there. Patsy's only allowed 1 home run, too, in his 68 innings pitched. So a lot of the statistics on there for Patsy are really impressive.
Yeah, especially one of the biggest things that I like is that he's only given up 16 walks and has 67 strikeouts, plus some more, since he's already struck out 2. I'm pretty sure it was 3 batters already that he's already struck out. So
he's that 4.
Yeah, he's a very effective pitcher when it comes to hitting his pitches through the zone, hitting the black corners, hitting every spot that he can, and making them swing and miss. And you're going to allow some hits here and there, but that's no big deal. He does a great job of having them not score runs that often in each game. His earned runs is at 40 right now, but it's not that bad, assuming that he's pitched 68 innings, but he's completed 6 of those games. So the statistics are here and there for him when it comes to the runs, but his strikeouts really show what he can really do with each of those pitches.
0-2. He's had 2 swing and a misses. Barry not able to get a piece of it directly. Cameron Barry faces the 0-2. Keep in mind that Barry through stats yesterday's game against the Tigers, which the Eagles just dominated 13-1 in 7 innings. Keep in mind that Cameron Barry had 2 at-bats. He had a run, a hit. He was not struck out yesterday, but gets struck out today. Heading to the top of the 3rd, the Eagles are down by 6.
No runs.
Strike 1 for Bo Simpson. Make that a 0-2 count for Simpson, who's been struck out 19 times. And Soriano looking for another strikeout on his stat line. Trying to keep the Green Jays from racking up the runs higher than 6. Here's the 1-2. Keep in mind, Simpson was almost completely shut down last night. He had 3 at-bats, 1 RBI, and was struck out once. So Simpson having his struggles against the Senators, but the Green Jays are hoping for another matchup with them tomorrow for the championship to get vengeance, but it's going to be a tough route as it's a grounder, shortstop, toss over, and out.
Now batting number 21, the 3rd baseman, Alex Dyersburg.
Draghi 200 average coming into today with 21 RBIs on 27 hits. Strike 1. Swing and a miss. struck him out. Make that out number 2. I think the Eagles have actually woken up now.
Just a little bit.
Now batting number 1, the left fielder,
Right around the 3rd or 4th inning, usually in every game, is where every athlete is kind of more awake. They're knowing what they're supposed to be doing, and that's where they're really loose, especially a pitcher. So that it's going to be a good game to see now. Now that you can tell that they're all awake. Pitcher right now, Soriano, he's throwing his breaking balls real well. He's putting them in the zone, or at least getting them close, hoping that they're swinging and missing, and that's what he's producing right now. So it always takes some time for players to get up and get ready during a game, but now that we can see that they're a little more awake and a little more energized, we're hoping to see a little bit of a different outcome when it comes to this game coming in through the rest of the innings.
2-1 count with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. 6 runs on 6 hits. And 3-1 count here for Dunn. Full now for Dunn, who's been struck out the most of all of the Green Jays. Struck out 58 times and walked 15. Full count. Gets a piece of it to right field. And that's sending us to the bottom of the 3rd. Still no score for the Green Jays. The Green Jays through the past 2 innings and no score for the Eagles.
0 runs, 0 hits, and Eagles. Number 1,
Heading to the
Efren Poe.
bottom of the 3rd here. Well, and Urian, with the freshman with 70 at-bats, got a 171 average, so faces off against the ace for Green Jays, and 0-1 there after the foul. And Urian has been struck out 32 times on his at-bats. He's managed to get 5 doubles and 12 hits, so he's one of those he's one of the hitters for the Eagles that is not quite up there to the average level, but is looking to get to that point as he faces the 0-2.
Yeah, he's a really good hitter. He's bringing his stats up every so often nowadays. Even though the 171 average doesn't show it, he can really produce a lot of hits if once he starts getting out there more and starts practicing a lot more. He's got 5 doubles and 7 RBIs already, and he gets great hits just like that. It's just he always just finds the wrong place to put them.
So that's out number 1 for the Eagles in the bottom of the 3rd, and Mangurian
Now batting number
yesterday.
20, the shortstop, Blake McCutcheon.
Mangurian yesterday, not even on the stat line against the Tigers. Wasn't in the starting lineup. So here is Jonathan Alexander. Alexander with, trying to see if he has any. Jonathan and Alexander, I believe he. I don't think he's been up to bat once unless the stat lines are incorrect here. Because looking here at the roster for the Eagles, and see if I can get some stats up here on his individual player profile. But at least according to the hits stats there, he does not have any. Okay, so he's had 12 appearances and faces a 3-1 count here. So let's see, he's had 12 game appearances. And he has 53 hits and 23, excuse me, that's looking at his pitching stats. He has not been up to bat that much. Looking at the NJCAA, it doesn't look like he has any hitting stats at all. But he gets hit by the pitch right there on, looks like
And right on the hand.
Right on his hand, and he'll advance to first, but having to try and walk it off on that one.
Yeah, he's got to make sure that the hand's okay, because I'm pretty sure that was his catching hand that he just got hurt with. So he's going to make sure that he can at least squeeze it so he can squeeze his glove.
Medical staff looking at him for Dyersburg. And it looks like on the inside of his catching hand. Looks like about at the crease between the right at the crease on the other side of the elbow. They're stretching it out there, and he's good to go heading to first. So now with Alexander on first.
Now batting number 5, the center fielder, Evan.
Excuse me, McCutcheon. It's McCutcheon. He's wearing number 20. That's why I didn't have any stat lines on the website. So McCutcheon gets hit with the pitch there, and Gilliam up to bat next. His teammate on first. Safe, and if McCutcheon had caught it a little bit earlier there, he may have had a chance at second, but Wright unable to get the catch there. Stays safe on first. Gilliam faces the 0-1. He's got a 536 slugging and 473 on base percentage. So he can get some power behind it. Faces the 0-1 here against Sergio Pazzi. And second time this inning, a batter has been hit by the pitch. Advance to first and second. Drew Record steps up. He has the highest slugging percentage of the Eagles, not including Alexander Hams. A 580 slugging, 495 on base, and best batting average with 386. But what Patsy's done to the last two runners, you may very well just need to brace for impact instead of trying to knock it towards the fence. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. It's a grounder, deflects off of the third baseman's glove, and the Eagles will get their first run of the game. Just an unlucky moment there for the third baseman. 6-1, Eagles down by 5.
Now batting number 23, the second baseman.
The base hit there was really just a unlucky shot by the third baseman. He was able to get his glove down, but really his heel hit the ball and it just popped up. Made it an easy run for Dyersburg to at least get one on there. But as a hard ground ball, that's sometimes what a ground ball does for you too. If you hit it hard enough, you can get a lucky bounce off of a glove or something like that. And it always makes it a lot harder for a fielder to keep handling the ball and making a great play. So really it's just also that Jackson should work on here more is really hard ground balls and how to judge them correctly and how to get that approach on them so they don't have a lot of errors when it comes to it.
1-1 here for Rodriguez. Trying to get something more going for the Eagles with potential motivation after that first run. It's a piece of that for 1 and 2. Rodriguez up there in the amount of RBIs that he's managed to achieve behind Drew Record and Kristen Martin by 4 RBIs.
Yeah, he's a big hitter, like we said. Last night's game when he played, he was 2 for 3, and he just did a great job of hitting the ball.
And that's an out on third. Safe on first and second. Patsy just picked it up, chased down the runner trying to head home. And now 2 outs.
Smart play by Patsy, too, knowing that the third base runner was halfway down the line and knew he'd rather have that out more than the out at first because that's a run score right there if he gets the person out first. So great awareness by Patsy and having them run back and throw it in time to get them out.
Strike 1.
He did what you're supposed to do to a base runner is running back toward third instead of running toward home.
560 slugging for Martin, 380 average. Faces the 0-1 here. And foul out there for 0-2. Here's the 0-2. It's a big piece of it going back towards the wall. Catch. And end of the third. The Eagles finally get on the board after 3. 6-1. Green Jays back up to bat. Kaufman leads off at the top of the fourth. The Green Jays allowing only 1 run in the span of 3 innings. The Eagles allowing 6 in 1. Soriano, the replacement for Weiss, almost immediately in the top of the first. Soriano with 42 strikeouts gives the 0-2 count for Kaufman, who's been struck out 21 times. 0-2. Piece of it past the second baseman. That's a base hit
Great
for
base
Kaufman.
hit. Great job of going to the opposite side of the field and getting the easy base hit.
So back to the top of the order for I believe the third. Yeah, this is the third time. So now DJ Wright, 730 slugging and 377 average, the highest of the Green Jays, steps back up, trying to send the Green Jays to the conference championship game against the Senators for a rematch, and gets a good grounder there. Shortstop picks it up out at second and safe at first. So the 0-1 as Travis Reeves steps up with a runner on first. Reeves with a 306 average has 23 RBIs. He's been walked 29 times, struck out 16, but is on base at 410. Sends him one out to center field for the catch, and 2 outs. C.J. Clark still looking for home run number 3. 578 slugging, and he has stolen 6 bases and been caught 3 times with an on base of 362. Looking more so to send it out of the park instead of getting on base. He's swinging there, swinging there. That one heads into the stands, and it's now the 0-1. There's a deep
nice
hit, right? It's going back towards the wall, and home run number 3 for C.J. Clark. Home run number 10 of the postseason, 2-run homer. The Green Jays are up 8-1.
Make that number 13 for him too, and 2 more RBIs for himself. So that makes number 46. He's one of their biggest hitters, and you can just see why in deep center field. Great hit, making it to where he almost put it right back to the pitcher and just kept on going further and further.
Now batting number 2, the
2 games in a row where he got a home run. 2 games where he did not hit it out of the park and gets one back for a 2-run homer and leads the Eagles by 7. Derek Junker steps back up, and the additional slugger at 454 has 4 home runs of his own and 45 hits. even count here at 1-1.
2-2 this in. Two balls. I mean, two fronts.
2 runs to get to the first thing. I had 5 marks down, then I made a little mark.
Sorry.
No, oversight. They didn't have many cars out there.
Yeah, that's all the ground screws, cars.
All the others.
Swing and a miss for even count.
Well, I think it decides behind that free. 8. Deuces wild. That's 3. That's way really wild, isn't it?
Grounder. Shortstop gets it and toss over. Story of the top of the 4th, a 2-run homer for C.J. Clark. The Eagles looking to respond as we're halfway through the losers final. 2019 Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Tournament is sponsored by Sundrop Bottling, Hampton by Hilton, Lister Hill Credit Union, Alpha Graphics of Franklin, and Fairfield by Marriott. So after the top of the 4th, that's half of the 10 home runs we've seen in the postseason have come from the Jackson State Green Jays. Look for that as a potential threat going forward into the championship if the Green Jays can make it out of here. But, of course, the Eagles had the only grand slam of the tournament as well. So leave it to them to get on base and put themselves in position to get the one of the most rare things to see in baseball.
Yeah, and like I said, about maybe 2 days ago, something like that, talking about Jackson State is that they're a really big hitting team, and what they really work on is the power and trying to get line drives every time they can. And the reason why they do that is actually line drives do end up being home runs, just depending on how hard you swing and where you hit the ball. So really that's what they're working on. And it actually it's been showing throughout this tournament, having half of all the home runs hit in this tournament by Jackson State.
And that's why they are 28th in the nation in home runs with 46 coming into today. Make that 48. I wonder how their national stats will update after that. Of course, their stat line for hits is 124th in the nation with 382. Hits 382, and they're 124th in the nation as a grounder. That's down the way. And a base hit there. Safe on first.
Now batting number 15, the designated hitter, Tyler Hughes.
So Hughes, again, the freshman coming into this game with only 15 at-bats, is another one of the players in the Eagles trying to get his stats up, and he's got one more year if he chooses to stay at Dyersburg. He's got one more year in off season to build up his stat line. is right now a 267 average on only 15 appearances, which is pretty decent, but it can be better.
Yeah, and that's
And speaking of right on cue, there's left and
Over
gets
the
past the
head.
left fielder off the wall and make that double number 2 for Tyner Hughes.
Yeah, you're saying that it could be better. Well, of course it could be better. Everybody could be better in this game, especially when you're a freshman. Of course, it's going to take some time to be readjusting to the different pitching styles that some of these teams have. So, and it looked like he just got adjusted to Patsy's hit and took a line drive right over the left fielder's head.
So Cameron Berry steps back up. He got struck out in his last at-bat. Faces the 0-1. Again, he's got a .430 slugging and .412 on base percentage. And with runners on second and third and his 14 RBIs, chance for the Eagles to get some more here. Two one. The Eagles' dugout has been silenced for the most part, starting to pick up their discussions, and the umpire is having a quick discussion with the Green Jays coach. Just in a there's a potential disagreement. The umpires are meeting together to see all what they saw in that. See if they. It's very rare that you see a call overturned, especially in a league with no instant replay. And now they could come up here and look at our monitor and see if they wanted to review that. It's one of those things we could tell them in the championship that if the coaches want to challenge, we've got at least one angle.
Yeah.
And I believe that may be the signal. It's a signal for an out on Barry, even though the count is 2-1. So, I'm not sure what the specific discussion is, but per the umpire's ruling, it's a out for Barry. We'll see if we can get an angle on. Of course, instant replay not working for you guys, but on our end, we're seeing here it can't see it from the umpire's angle here, but he did swing at it, but not sure if it. It's hard to see on that. We'll review it going in between the innings, but at least by the umpire's ruling, it is out number 1. Barry struck out last time he was at bat, and this time out off of a review. That's 0-1. Swing and a miss for 0-2. Torres trying to get something going here as the freshman with 37 at-bats. It's a 243 slugging and 216 average. Trying to get something going here is Patsy, which is there for the 1-2. So, Austin, you're looking at the replay right now on here. So, from the perspective there, what are you seeing on this one?
Yeah, and
as it's sent to left and make that run number 2 for the Eagles with runners on first and third, a chance for score from Dyersburg.
So the play that they were talking about that they're having a discussion on and called Barry out was that when Passy threw the ball and one hit the ground, the catcher went and blocked it, and the ball started rolling towards Barry. And what Barry did, what he thought was an act of kindness, was just to stop the ball. But really, you can't do that as an interference, and so that makes him out because he interfered with the play. Because until the umpire calls time, the ball is still live. So that's why they called him out on that ruling.
So interference called on Barry, and a brilliant base hit there right in between the left and center fielder. And run number 2 for the Eagles. They're down by 6. So they at least get some response. They at least get some response to the 2-run homer in the top of the 4th.
Would be the only thing you could rule it there because
2-1. McCutcheon with a 409 slugging as a 341 average through the postseason. Regular season, he's got 10 doubles and 21 RBIs, with a runner on first and third looking for RBI 22. This is a 2-1 here against Sergio Patsy. Inside for 3-1.
because he's the closest man to the ball. And that was called.
Strike 2, full count. And keep in mind, there's only 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. So the Eagles have a little bit of leeway to try and get the scoring play going here.
Yeah, and for Passy, it's a good thing, especially with the 3-2 count, because he could do one or two things. If he throws a strike, he can either strike him out or potentially get a ground ball and get a double play from second and then to first. So it kind of works out a little bit more in his favor that there's runners on first and third, but at the same time, it's a problem because there is a runner on third. And you got McCutcheon that's already had 21 RBIs and a slugging percentage of 409. So it's going to be a difficult task for Passy to be able to go through his plan, if that is his plan, to get a ground ball and the double play.
Full count, 1 out. Gets a piece of that. Full count still, as McCutcheon is trying to get something going here. Gets a grounder to the shortstop, toss over, double play. Is it in time? Yes. Double play with 1 left on, heading to the top of the 5th. The Eagles respond with 1 run. They're down by 6. Top of the 5th. And Greer leads off for the Green Jays. He gets hit by the pitch and not happy with that one, heading to first base.
Yeah, looked like it hit his arm right there because that's just what he was looking at. Didn't like it at all, and especially on the first pitch, that's just not one way to start off an inning too.
Now batting number 24, the catcher, Bo Simpson.
Simpson with Greer on first. Faces the 1-0. Simpson, it's up a fly over to about right center and catch made for the first out. He's been getting some good contact on the ball. He just hasn't been able to hit it to the proper areas to stay safe.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a little bit of timing work and how to adjust your speed of the bat and not dip down underneath the ball. So it's just a little small things when it comes to that. So he can always work that without even holding the bat. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised just to see him in the dugout just trying to work on it so he can get a base hit his next time up.
DeRiggi with a 0-1 count. Senators got the worst, brought out the worst out of him yesterday. As DeRiggi, he managed to get one run. He was left on base twice, and they walked him once. I believe he was hit by a pitch once as well.
Yes, DeRiggi was. Yeah, he was hit by a pitch last night behind the knee too, and so he was limping just a little bit over to first base, and it actually took him a while, but he stayed in the game and actually did pretty good.
So that's the second time we've seen the man on first base for the Eagles not make the catch, and also the second time the Green Jays have elected not to charge towards second, which hasn't been enough time for him to try and advance on the error. Now a 1-2. And a huge amount of that definitely comes down to the first base coach for giving him the right advice to stay on first.
Yeah, and they got to determine whether or not the ball is far enough for him. How fast the runner is, and he didn't even start his windup when he stole the base. Yeah, that was a great steal, and he a little sneaky.
Make
right
that
there.
steal number 4 for Greer on the season, first one of the postseason.
I've only seen that one other time in my life, and that was an MLB game with David Ortiz doing it. That's a big dude that runs. He doesn't run fast, and he actually ended up stealing. And I'm pretty sure that's where he got that from too. So great job of using it well.
You learn from the best of the best in the sport that you compete in. And Khalil Dunn has a runner on second as he faces the 0-1 count with DeRiggi striking out for I believe the second time today. And here's the 0-1 as the Green Jays are in the top of the 5th and trying to get their team to the conference championship. It's 0-2. And that's strike 3 heading to the bottom of the 5th. The Eagles down by 6. So 1-0 count to start off for Gilliam. As Gilliam in the bottom of the 5th, trying to get the Eagles some more runs, make it a closer game. And of course, Dyersburg won the conference championship back in 2017. Won it back in 17 and 16, back-to-back years. Walter State trying to do the same thing this year as they are in the championship, won baseball last year, and runner-up for the national title. 2-1 count. Evened up with the foul as Gilliam faces a potential strikeout number 20. And gets one past the pitcher to second base, but not in time to first.
Great line drive back to the pitcher too. Kind of shocked that pass. He didn't catch it with his glove, but he got enough of it just to slow it down so the second baseman can make a good play.
Now batting number 6, the third baseman, Drew Rickert.
And there's a deep hit to right field for out number 2. Drew Reckert just couldn't get the better of the right fielder.
Now batting number 23, the second baseman, Luis Rodriguez.
And Rodriguez steps up. Strike 1. 1-1. Or excuse me, 2-1.
2-1. I thought I missed the pitch. I should have been looking around.
And grounder. Second baseman can't pick up the ball. Is he safe at first?
Error down. I said fumble, but it's an error.
The second baseman just couldn't pick it up in time. Toss over, just safe.
He did a great job of hitting it with his chest, but on the pickup, I wouldn't suggest using your glove when it's already down. Just go ahead and barehand it and just make a quick throw. But that's why he fumbled it the second time, is because he tried to transfer with his glove. And all he needed to do was just use his hands. So it's a lesson learned. So hopefully he can do it next time.
Sometimes they come back to bite you.
And Martin up to bat now. Now a 2-0 count for Martin.
Couldn't find anybody that wanted him. I was interested in 3 people, and none of them. I got engaged one time, and we decided we'd be better off. We didn't get married.
Martin with a 2-1. Evened up. Again, Dyersburg looking to head back to the conference championship for the first time since 2017. Won it back in 16 and 17 back-to-back years. And looking for a chance to get back there. And the Green Jays, Jackson State has not won the baseball championship. As you go all the way back to a long time ago.
And they haven't won one since about the late 90s.
And grounder goes to the shortstop, and just another bounce off of the glove, and safe on first and third. Error there for the shortstop.
Yeah, Jackson State needs to be careful with all these errors that they're having now. That's the second one back-to-back, and so they need to be careful, especially when they haven't won a tournament in over, 19 years?
According to the website for the TCCAA, they kept stats as far back as the 2000 to 2001 season. So at least in baseball, Jackson State not on that, but
at
trying
least 19 years
trying to
been,
etch their name onto that list.
Yeah, they want to at least get their name updated on there. So they got to do a little better job on the errors so they're able to get there, or at least compete with Walter State when they go to the finals after this game, if they are able to. But the only thing that's going to really hurt them are the errors that they're having.
And of course, for Jackson State, they have a tough hill to climb to get to the championship now. It's that they have to win this game and then win 2 more against the Senators to hoist the championship trophy. But the Senators only have to win 1, and they've been undefeated thus far. And there's an easy steal. The pitcher didn't even flinch.
He's not even going to worry about him. He wants that last out, and actually a smart base running by the first baseman, not going to second before he hit the foul ball, and is able to go back to first. Even if he did go to second, he was able to go back to first after the foul ball. But
foul.
Yeah, but he's being smart. He's trying to get into the rundown and see if he can advance the runner from third all the way to home. But pitcher's not worried about him at all. So I doubt they'll be able to even get that playoff if they're able to.
Last championship that Jackson State has ever had for their community college, they had a at least according to the conference website, it doesn't look like they have any conference championships on there. As it's sent over to first and make that the third out. Heading to the top of the sixth, the Green Jays still lead the Eagles 8-2. The 2019 Tennessee Community College Athletic Association baseball tournament is sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, Hampton by Hilton, Alpha Graphics of Franklin, Lister Hill Credit Union, and Sundrop Bottling. Top of the sixth, the Green Jays lead over the Eagles 8-2 and are back at bat. So, according to record books that we've referenced, the last time the Jackson State Green Jays have won even a conference championship was in women's basketball back in about the 1980s. So it's been a while. The Green Jays trying to at least get a chance at that again against the Senators. It'll be difficult chance to get there, but Jackson State just looking for its first conference championship since the 80s for a long while. Here's the 1-2. And rolled even. Grounder to the shortstop. And
ruled
safe.
Just couldn't get that leg stretched out far enough to keep the back leg on the bag. So that's a hard thing to do when you're a first baseman, but it's something that you should be able to do. That's one of the main things for first baseman is be able to stretch out and get the ball. But it's easier said than done too, just because some of these first basemen just aren't capable of doing it. And it takes a while just to be able to get your legs stretched out that far.
Now DJ right back up to bat. Runner on first. Swing and a miss. 0-2. As DJ Wright with the highest slugging of the Green Jays at 730 is trying to get a fair piece of the ball. A runner on first and nobody out here in the top of the 6th. And gets a fair piece of it past the second baseman. And
Nice hit.
that's a runner safe on first and third.
There's that right fielder's arm again, too, just firing back into the infield. But more importantly, just a great hit there by Martin, just making it get through the hole between first and second. So he did a great job, and he did a job of moving the runners around. And he got the single out of it, and that's all you can hope for.
So now Travis Reeves with the most appearances of any of the Green Jays at 160. Faces the 0-1 against Soriano, who, excuse me, against Nick Noble, who's pulled in about an inning or two ago. With a 2.52 ERA, he has 30 strikeouts, 12 walks, and 25 innings pitched. He has 11 appearances. So here's the 0-2 with a runner on first and third. Struck him out. Here comes C.J. Clark with men on first and third. The dangerous 578 slugger with now 13 home runs and coming into this game 45 hits.
Yeah, he's already got 46 RBIs, and I wouldn't doubt it if he's going to shoot for 49 because he's just been an absolute monster at the plate so far. So I wouldn't be shocked to see another home run for him. I know that's not what he's aiming for. He's aiming just to get the runner on third to home, but knowing how good this guy is at the plate and how aggressive he can be and how much power he has with the bat, he could potentially get one out a second time today. But I'd rather see more of a base hit and getting the runners all the way around as hard as they can than to just see a home run with him, just to see how well he can really control the barrel of the bat.
Here's the 0-2 with one out in the top of the 6th. 1-2. So at least looking at some of the comments here, it looks like Jackson State went to the NJCAA World Series in the early 90s. At least looking there at some point in the early 90s. So back in the 90s was when Jackson State managed to win the baseball championship for the conference. And there's another deep hit by C.J. Clark headed towards the wall.
And it's gone.
Home run number 4 for C.J. Clark, a 3-run homer, and just like that, it's 11-2.
49 RBIs and home run number 14 for the whole season right now. I knew he was going to have a big hit in this one. I didn't have a feeling, but I didn't think it was going to be another home run. His third time up to the plate, excuse me.
2 home runs in one game. He's making up for the home runs he missed in the previous 2.
5 RBIs
in the single game. Yep.
2 for 3 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. This dude is a monster right now at the plate. and made it to where Jackson State is only one run away till they can run rule them here in the 7th inning.
And another pitching change for the Eagles in the top of the 6th.
Pitching change for Dyersburg State is number 21, Christian Colazzo. And right now he has a ERA of a 3.81, only 27 hits, 21 runs, 17 earned runs, and 46 strikeouts.
Top of the 6th. And Colazzo on the mound as Derek Junker is up to bat, facing the 0-1.
It was the guy that coached at Decatur Riverside Park, named Sammy Fisher, and he was at Bethel. I went to school with him.
1-1.
And he was the best bad ball hitter I've ever seen. Now, if you threw it down the middle right at his waist, he couldn't have hit it anywhere. But if you threw it up his eyes,
1-2.
probably hit 400 feet.
Junker's been struck out 40 times, one of those coming from today,
Because everybody would throw it.
with one out in the top of the 6th.
The best place to throw it was right down the middle.
And strikeout. Out number 2. Here's Greer again. 532 slugging, 309 average. As he had the 3-run homer in the top of the 1st. Sends it foul for the 0-1.
trying to keep it in on him, so he can't get extended. Because they feel like that's where his power is when he gets about that extended. That's the reason he got hit while the other guys trying to play him inside.
Nobody on base for the Green Jays. 0-2 count. As they are one run away from leading by 10 going into the bottom of the 6th. And the 0-2 count. Got a piece of it there for the foul.
Get through 4 dark. Yeah. But he's gonna have to hurry. It's probably 5, 6 minutes to 8 right now. It's 2-hour game. Yeah, well, that's a whole lot better than what we had the other night.
So now the 0-2 gets hit by the pitch, advanced first. So with 2 outs, next up is Simpson. He's gotten some decent contact with the ball, but has not managed to get on base at this point.
Yeah, and it hasn't been a bad thing that he's hasn't gotten on base. He's still progressing with his batting. He's still able to get the barrel through the zone, and even though he's a sophomore, he's still able to work before tomorrow if they're able to still play tomorrow. But definitely he's still progressing on his batting averages, and he's still making the big impact for the team too, with 21 RBIs and limited amount of strikeouts. He's actually been doing really good when it comes to batting.
1-0. Greer just leading off on first, try to get himself in scoring position. As Simpson with a .458 slugging faces the 3-0. Simpson out of, he's about to hit appearance 100, probably has hit it already in this game. It's strike 1. Three 1. Full. Simpson has been struck out 19 times coming into today. Here's the full count with 2 outs.
Ooh.
And strike out. So heading to the bottom of the 6th, the Eagles get 3. Headed to the bottom of the 6th. Excuse me, the Green Jays get 3. The Eagles trying to respond. 11-2, the Eagles down by 9 runs, trying to shave that off to make sure they do not get sent home in 7 innings as a deep hit to center field going towards the wall.
And he got it. Did he?
Did he catch it?
I think, yes, he did. Umpire in right field saying he caught it.
He caught it. It almost looked like the ball may have bounced out of his end there, but what an athletic play by the center fielder.
I thought he snow coned it for a minute.
But that's 1 out. Incredible hit and kind of shows what the Eagles are about in this inning. Cameron Berry steps up now and gets hit by the pitch.
I didn't think he got hit by it.
It's close.
Oh, okay.
I always wonder if the people on broadcast can hear our other friends up here in the booth, the score taker and PA announcer. Because if they can, they've been hearing a lot of great conversations we've been having over the past few days.
It's your fault.
Yep, 100%. You got to pick your battles. Swing and a miss for Torres.
You fight them all.
Do I?
I don't know.
Answering it in that question already starts it. It's an 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Grounder, shortstop with the dive, toss over to first.
Oh,
Can't make the catch.
Wow, that's the hardest hops to catch when you're a first baseman, because that's what they call an in-betweener hop. It's not a long hop, but it's not a short hop, so it's kind of right in the middle to where you don't know, and the ball's coming in too quick. You don't have enough reaction time to actually get your glove there, so that's why those are always the hardest, and I'm not going to fault the first baseman for that one, just because it's hard for anybody to get those.
That was C.J. Clark who tried to make the catch there, almost made the outplay. And 1-0 count here. It's the Eagles. McCutcheon with a 341 average coming into today. Faces a 1-0. Strike one. Lead off on first and second. Gets a piece of it past the shortstop. And on the way for run number 3 for the Eagles.
Yeah, great job by Dyersburg to at least get one more run, just to make it a little harder for Jackson State to get the 10-run mercy rule on them here in the next inning. But they're still battling now. It's laying the innings as of right now compared to the scores. They're going to definitely battle back and make sure that they get every run, as much runs as they can before they all get out.
And here's Reckert with a 1-0 count. Excuse me, it's actually Gilliam up to bat with the team lead of 51 RBIs. He's looking to get an increase on that with teammates on second and third. Ball 3. if you look at the scouting report for Gilliam as the Green Jays in this situation, do you go for the walk here, or are you more trying to get the strikeout in this situation?
Really for him, it's going to be for Passy, it's really going to be a struggle just to even get the ball through the zone right now for 3-1. So really for Gilliam, you might as well take the hit as you can, because a hit you could definitely you could score 2 depending on how hard and where you hit it. And so really, and no one wants to be walked. That's one of the baddest things that they hate the most is being walked, because they go up there for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to hit. So, and besides bunting and giving them stack flies, you want to hit. No one likes being walked, and really coaches don't even like you getting walked, because they want to see how well you can do in situations just like this in a 3-2 count with 1 out. And they want to see how much you can battle and how well you see the ball too, because if you're going to be looking for a walk, you might as well just go ahead and say you're looking for a strikeout, because that's not the mindset that you want really, is to get walked. So you want to always go out there, be prepared to hit, and strike on the fastball as hard as you can. And if he throws you a curveball or any type of breaking ball, just sit back and be patient and let it get to you so you can just hit it hard.
And struck him out. Out 2. Now Record steps up, and the leading slugger for the Eagles with bases loaded is trying to get some more runs here in the bottom of the 6th. So correction with runners on first and second. That runner on third came in with the base hit earlier. It's now 11-3. Runners on first and second. So we face the 2-0 here for Drew Record. The lead slugger for the Eagles is trying to send some more home and make it more difficult for the Green Jays to try and go for the 7-inning mercy rule. The Eagles just not even focused so much on that, trying to just get back in this game and give themselves a better shot at the championship with ball 3. Here's the 3-0 count. Now the base is loaded.
Yeah, Passy needs to really be careful right here. He does have a pitcher in the bullpen as of right now, but I really don't think that they're going to be thinking about pulling him out here anytime soon. It's really just going to be depending on how well he does this inning, and it's really going to be shown right now. And as I say that, the coach is visiting the mound right now, and I think they're actually bringing them in.
Looking here, waiting for to see if the official change is made there. Ace Patsy has only allowed 3 runs in 5 2/3 innings. And I believe coach just having a discussion with the catcher and pitcher. No change as of now. So Rodriguez having his struggles today. Rodriguez with his struggles today has not managed to perform as well as he has throughout the tournament. The 481 slugging gets a piece of that for 0-1. With the bases loaded, we might see grand slam number 2 for Rodriguez. The power behind his swing is sending the wind up here to the press box. And gets a hit to left foul. You were starting to get up and angle yourself to see if it was going out of the fences.
Hey, we got glass in front of me, and I'd rather see it with an open window.
We got a little bit of an open spot with the camera, but not enough to get the full perspective on it. It's the 0-2 count. 1-2. Keep in mind that Patsy is only allowed one home run. Say 1-2 count as the Green Jays trying to shut this inning down, and grounder goes to the third baseman, toss over to first, and goes over run number 4 and make that run number 5.
And almost run number 6.
Is it run 6? Yes. Runner on first.
Wow.
3 sent home.
Just a bad choice by Greer right there. He should have never thrown that ball. That's where the mentality of these players got to come from. He should have just stepped on third, but he decides he wants to throw the first. He thinks that it's the easiest out, but really all he had to do was just touch on third, and there you go. That was the closest one, or tag the runner that was running in front. So that was a big mistake on him, and making a poor throw over to first base. So. And that just cost them 3 runs right off the bat right there. And now it's going to be a better game with both of these teams now that Dyersburg has came up 3 extra runs to make it the 5-run lead for the Green Jays. So we're just going to have to see how far this goes with the new pitcher coming in.
Zach Gresham coming in when we come back. Kristen Martin, the first batter for the new pitcher Zach Gresham, who has 9 even ERA, 12 appearances. The sophomore right-hander has pitched 11 innings with 14 strikeouts and 14 walks. And is trying to shut down the inning for the Eagles on the 0-2. And the 0-2, Martin gets struck out. 1 left on. The Eagles have gotten 4 runs. It's a 5-run game heading to the top of the 7th.
DeRiggy.
DeRiggy after sending the DeRiggy after the toss to give the Eagles the 3 runs is back up to bat. Swing and a miss for the 0-1. Oh, 2. Oh, 2. Outside. Strikeout. And now Khalil Dunn steps up.
Now batting number 1, the left fielder, Kilo Dunn.
Khalil Dunn facing 1 out here in the top of the 7th. 0-1. And Dunn has the team lead of being struck out the most with 58 strikeouts coming into this game. But, of course, with 33 hits and 9 doubles, triple, and 7 RBIs, he's made up for it in several ways. But
Yeah, and it's so hard to come back from strikeouts nowadays. And it looked like just from the time that he was batting, this whole season has been a little bit of an uphill, downhill thing for him. The slugging percentage is still pretty good, to the 314 slugging percentage, and it works out a little bit in his favor. So you can definitely tell that he has a lot of power in his hits. Not one of their most speediest runners. With only 2 stolen bases, but he can certainly dig one out if he needs to or if he wanted to. So that's just to keep in mind. If he ever gets one out in the outfield and it gets a good bounce, just watch out for a double or a potential triple.
here's the 1-2. It's hit by the pitch, heading to first. And with 1 out, the Green Jays now have a runner on first. And send in Kaufman.
The center fielder, Cade Kaufman.
It's Kaufman, the sophomore, trying to help send the Green Jays to the conference championship game. Trying to do his part in this losers final. About 2.5 hours past first pitch in the top of the 7th. Spencer Thompson and Austin Ray enjoying the about 70-degree weather here at Dave Hall Field at Columbia State Community College in Columbia. It really felt nice for the both of us to actually sleep in after 3 straight days of being here at 9:30. More well rested, and your voice not as raspy as yesterday, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. Even for the viewers that heard me last night, knew that my voice wasn't in the best shape. Now it's a little better than it was. So
That honey tea finally, That honey tea finally settled in.
Yeah, it did.
rotate every year. Now the coaches are trying to get them to rotate all the way around the state, but they don't have.
And wild pitch advances to second. Catcher was about to throw it there, and his backhand, it fell. The ball just fell out. Oh, that was
Something you don't
funny.
see every day.
That is
huh?
one of those things you don't see.
He went negative distance.
3-1. Lead off on second. That's a full count. Got a piece of it for the foul.
Umpire near the mound said, "Hey, give me the ball," and took it. He's like, "Go ahead and get the one from the home plate umpire."
Telling them
Yeah.
not to pitch with that one.
Yeah.
1 out in the top of the 7th. Green Jays trying to get some more on the board here with a runner on second. Kaufman just trying to find the perfect pitch here. And make that a walk. Runner to first and second. And start it back over with DJ Wright.
Now batting number 9.
And who better to have up to the plate with runners right now on first and second than the top slugger for the Green Jays, DJ Wright.
Yeah, especially with runners on first and second, 3 runs, and they can get back to the score that they had before Dyersburg scored those 3 runs on the air. So it's just something to watch out for with Jackson, especially with their biggest slugger up there with the 730 slugging percentage. 11 home runs and 48 RBIs, and he's definitely going to be making a big effort to try and get all those runs in, so they can take back the runs that they lost from the last inning.
And 1-1.
He's 3 for 4 tonight. He's been on base all 4 times. Scored 3 times. Got a 2-run single.
Wright being on base 4 times. He's scored every one of them. He's trying to get on base for the 5th time tonight. 2-1. And grounder
There it
gets to
is.
the outfield.
They got one
And
run going.
Setting the home for run number 12.
Yeah, great base hit over there in left field, hugging the line. And that's where we've been seeing a lot of our hits, just hugging those lines, and they've been doing a great deal of damage to any teams that's been hitting it. So easy RBI for him, and you got another hitter that a decent amount of number of RBIs himself, Travis Reeves with 23 RBIs. He's already had 2 home runs and 2 triples throughout the season, so he can do some damage here too. Just gotta be careful of where you pitch to him.
Reeves with a runner on first and third with 1 out, trying to get potentially 4 more runs here to put the pressure on the Eagles more than they already have. And the box score right now, 12, 11, and 3 for the Green Jays, 6, 7, and 2 for the Eagles. Score was 7-5 in the second round of the winners bracket that sent the Eagles down to face off against the Chargers. And the Green Jays now lead it by 6 runs. And got a piece of that and sent it to the bleachers. 2-1. Collazo with it has struck out 46 batters going into this game. He's allowed 3 home runs and a 3.81 ERA. And there's a deep hit to left going towards the wall.
Easy sac fly opportunity.
And catch made. And send run number 13 home with another runner safe on first, 2 outs.
Yeah, they may not get all their runs back from the last thing, but they're surely going to get enough right here to still keep the pressure on them.
Now batting number 32, the first baseman, C.J. Clark.
Well, C.J. Clark back up to bat as you say that. Man who's gotten 2 home runs thus far. Is he going to get number 3 to fully make up for games he's missed a home run in? He's got a power swing behind him.
He's got the power swing. He knows he wants to get this game over with just to ensure that they go to Walter State and face them tomorrow. So I hate to say it, but I know he's going to be swinging for the fences on that one just to put 2 runs on the board and make it a non-possession game for them. So it's going to be a great hit if he gets one right in the middle of the ball, either a line drive or to get one over it.
0-2. Clark with the 3rd highest times of strikeouts for the Green Jays at 48 coming into tonight. The leadoff on first. Grounder up the third baseline and not enough power behind it, and he's out. Headed to the bottom of the 7th, 13-6. The Green Jays lead it by 7, and time for our 7th inning stretch.
And guys, this is about time where we do our shout-outs for the night too. The first shout-out goes to Millie Anderson. She wants a shout-out to Bo Simpson from your aunt and uncle in Ripley, Tennessee. Charlie Berry gives a shout-out to his son Cameron Berry and from his dad. Rhonda Clark wants to give a shout-out to her son, C.J. Clark, and he's been doing a great job tonight, and I know his mother is really proud of him. Febre Berry wants to give a shout-out to CB, Go Eagles. And Angie Kaufman wants to give a shout-out to Green Jays, and Cade Kaufman, the best Mother's Day present will be a couple more wins.
C.J. Clark incredibly proud, a 2 home run game for her son. The 2019 Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Tournament, sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, Sundrop Bottling, Lister Hill Credit Union, Alpha Graphics of Franklin, and Hampton by Hilton. Kylan Johnson leads off. The Eagles are trying to make it back. They are down by 7. So not in a mercy rule situation at the moment. The 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Even count. Struck him out. Make that one out for the Eagles.
Next batting, number 15, the designated hitter, Tyner Hughes.
Swing and a miss for Tyner Hughes. The 0-1 here, Gresham with a 9 ERA coming into tonight. 0-2. Excuse me, the count is 1-2. Grounder right to the pitcher and make that out number 2. Losers final, bottom of the 7th. The Green Jays lead 13-6. Winner moves on to face off against the Senators in the championship game. Loser will take the 2 hours, take the trip about 2 hours away. I'll probably take that trip tomorrow. And 2 outs now.
Yeah, they don't want to take that trip either, and not when they've already came this far. So you already know they're going to try to battle it out, and thankfully they got at least at the very most two more innings to do it as of right now. So, and they just need to try to focus, regroup here, and they need to start hitting just a little bit better so that they're able to get those runs up on the board.
3-0 count for Cameron Berry. Strike 1. And there's a pop-up for the full count. Berry with a .430 slugging and .310 batting average out of appearance 100 coming into tonight. It's probably about appearance 105 or 106. He has 31 hits and 9 doubles with 1 home run and advances to first on the walk.
Now batting number 20, the shortstop, Blake McCutcheon. Correction.
So now
Number 1,
Efrain
Mr.
Torres up to bat.
Torres.
243 slugging with a 216 average. He's got 8 hits and 1 double with 3 RBIs. He has a runner on first with 2 outs. Strike 1. And 0-2, as that one goes towards one of the cars parked in the grass of the groundskeeping crew, who's done a fantastic job to keep this field intact for tonight's game through all of the rain. Facing a 0-2 count. The tarp was laid out on the field the night before, so the infield, of course, staying as best as it could. The outfield probably not as sludgy as it was earlier, but the grounds crew has done a great job to keep the conditions playable here on the 1-2 count with 2 outs. And Barry gets a piece of that, and the center fielder makes the catch. 6 outs left on the Eagles' season. The Green Jays lead over them by 7. Castro steps in at catcher for the Eagles here in the top of the 8th, and Derek Junker at home plate.
Now batting number 2, the right fielder, Derek Junker.
Collazo still on the mound. There's strike 1 for Junker. And that bounces off of the bag of second. And That's what you call a true base hit there. Advance to first for Junker and send up Javen Greer. 532 slugging, 309 average.
Yeah.
I said, what did Bob Duke tell his co-op? Les was best before you came up. You know, I was making
So now Greer up on the plate, trying to get something going. A quick discussion between
Now batting
Colazo
number 33,
and
the
his
designated
catcher,
hitter,
new catcher
Javon
Castro.
Greer.
he's going for the
And
trial to get hit. If he gets hit again, he'll be.
here's Greer for no outs with a runner on first, and the catcher can't get the ball there in the dirt and advance to second.
I did put the deal up there. Okay, that's what I got. I can't remember.
Junker hit off the bag at second, went to the outfield. Strike one on the even count as Greer is trying to get his teammate either in better scoring position or at least send him potentially home, but first things first, he's got to get accurate contact on it. It's the 2-1.
Are you sleepy? Shouldn't have took it. I'm not sleepy.
This is the 2-1.
It's like a red, like a rock.
And wild pitch advanced to third, so now scoring position for Junker. Now, and the coach of the Eagles having a discussion with the ump. Are we potentially going to see another reversal here? And looking at the replay here, didn't look like it anything noticeable.
Is this ball 3 or ball 2?
So 3-1 count, and looking at that last one, it looked like didn't look like he had any contact with it. No.
Yeah, that's what I thought, well, the ball was bouncing toward him, he's trying to kick it.
So here's the full count for Greer with a runner on third.
Of course, 32 got thrown out.
And it's a foul there. It's technically a strikeout. Can he get to first in time?
He's safe.
And he's safe.
And they scored a run doing that, too.
Make that run number 14 for the Green Jays.
Yeah, Johnny.
Now batting number 24, the catcher, Bo Simpson.
14-6.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Johnny. Game time tomorrow is 11 o'clock. That's per Johnny.
Official word now that we can tell you 11 o'clock is the starting time tomorrow for the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Championship. We will be live here, and we'll have in sync with the in-stadium PA. We'll have the starting lineups, and we'll go on the field for the prize presentations, either in Game 1 or Game 2, depending on what the Green Jays or Eagles can do against the Senators, who are the defending conference champions and runner-up for the National Series last year. And
It would be pretty cool if we had wireless cameras too. We got the wireless mics, but
we don't have that kind of capability at this point.
not
Unfortunately.
yet, not yet.
That'll
Not yet.
that'll be at some point in the future. Those wireless camera capabilities are
They're
fairly
high.
expensive.
Yeah, and super
And
high tech.
grounder,
Off
the
the
shortstop
glove.
can't make the catch.
And he's going 3. Will he go?
And
Nope, they're
they're
going to stop him.
not going to send Greer home, but a runner on first and third on the error. And DeRiggi comes up, still no outs in the the top of the 8th. No outs. And DeRiggi steps up, and a pitcher warming up in the bullpen right now for the Eagles. So Collazo's time on the mound is ticking away, but at least they'll have whoever this next pitcher is most definitely going to be the closer.
Yeah, right now they got a right-handed pitcher in the Dyersburg bullpen right now. Can't really see the numbers. And left-handed pitcher in Jackson State's bullpen. So should be expecting some closers here soon. And depending on if Ridges does his job and could produce a 2-run hit, if he does that for his team, then and Dyersburg doesn't score, then we may not even see any of them. They may leave Patsy in there to finish the game off. And he's done exceptionally good this game too, only giving up 6 runs, and 4 of those runs were in the 6th inning. So other than that one mistake in the 6th inning, he's been doing really good.
2-1. And DeRiggi, 2-1 count. Strike 2. DeRiggi with now 2 runners in scoring position, chance to get to 10 runs. And again, no outs at the moment. Yeah, no outs at the moment for the Eagles, so even a hit here would probably result in a visit to the mound.
Yeah, DeRiggi's looking like he's getting a little frustrated right now, just because he hasn't really had a big hit this game. He's had good at bats, but potentially no really good hits for himself. So he really wants to make it up right here and help his team out, bringing in the 2 runs to make it the 10 score. And so the next thing that all they have to do is just hold them and be able to win the game in the 8th inning. Excuse me.
Even count, 3-2. Took a little bit of time for the ump to make the call on that. Now 3-2. Top of the 8th, 3-2 count, 0 outs. The Green Jays get a strikeout with DeRiggi. I believe that's strikeout number 2 or 3 for him on the game. And that's 1 out.
The concession stand will be closing at 9 o'clock.
Heard something collide there.
Yeah, I
DeRiggi
think that was
upset,
his.
and he has every right to be upset. He struck
Yeah.
out 4 times.
Yeah, he hit his bat off the pole actually, and that's what that loud noise was. That's just frustration at its finest. But I'm more afraid of him hurting his hand with that aluminum bat right there, because it stings a lot, and plus also he could really damage the bat doing that too. So he may not even have another bat.
1-0 count here for Dunn. It's a .314 slugging, and like you said earlier, he's got some okay numbers with the slugging there, but he's trying to get something going here and prove his stats wrong. Faces the 1-0 with 1 out. Gets a hit to right field, and
Scored
that's
one.
a base hit. Run number 15.
Yeah, they had a hold up right there for that because it was a great hit, a line drive. So they need to be careful on the line drives not to go too fast because if they catch it, then they're in no man's land when that happens. So great job by the base runners of holding up, making sure that the ball got down so they can at least score one, and great hit too. They got a great hit there by Dunn, so it was all around great execution.
So now the Green Jays have Kaufman up to bat. As you were really happy about that pitch.
He swung. That was a swing and a half right there.
Kaufman trying to pick up on some of C.J. Clark's magic from earlier today.
Yeah.
0-1.
Oh.
And gets hit by the pitch, so full bases.
What I like about that, even though I never like people getting hit by pitches because they hurt, especially they don't hurt as much in the back, which I'm glad that he turned his back. But what I like was that the umpire even had his hand up just in case because the intensity of this game is getting to these players right now, and he doesn't want anything bad going on, no tempers flaring or anything. So it really just helps out.
New pitcher coming up for the Eagles when we return. So top of the 8th inning, the new pitcher for the Eagles is Kyle Johnson with a 6.43 ERA. He's struck out 8 batters, walked 10 in 14 innings and 11 appearances. The sophomore right-hander trying to close it out here as the Green Jays need 1 run to essentially enact the mercy rule. And there it is.
Score for the 10 runs right now.
So that makes it run number 16 total, and the Eagles have even more pressure than they have in the past.
Yes, and Dyersburg, they still do have a chance to come back, bring up the score a little bit, and help them out in the ninth inning and after this inning. So, really, Jackson just needs to hold them right here and score a few more runs just to ensure ensuring almost victory at the moment.
16-6. And that'll keep Wright from having a grand slam at the moment. But as far as I know, C.J. Clark is not on deck at the moment. But we've got Travis Reeves on deck, who himself has a 394 slugging. But Wright, again, the highest slugger of the team, he had the potential to get a grand slam there. So, it's a blessing in disguise for the Eagles, so that they don't have that slam there.
Right, but still at the same time,
It's still
even
one
though
run.
it'll still be 4 runs when this is over, if he hits one over.
3-1. Wright has been struck out 18 times and walked 18 coming into tonight, and it's a 50-50 chance of him getting either, and it's a full count. Will we see out number 2, or will we see another incredible slugger from DJ Wright? Full count. And there's one to right field. And is it a sacrifice?
Down,
yes, it is. Headed into home, 1 out, and he gets him out.
Got him
time.
out and right.
Double play. 16-6. The Eagles have 3 outs left on their season, or one run to get to force it to another inning.
3 runs on 2.
Here comes Trevor Mace, the closer, taking his warm-up pitches here in the bottom of the 8th. 3 outs or 1 run left on the Eagles' season. The bottom of the 8th. 16-6. The Green Jays looking to have a rematch with the Senators to try and force Game 2, potentially win their first conference championship in baseball since the 90s, and their first conference championship at all for Jackson State. As the batting order is starting back at the top with McCutcheon, and the Eagles, the amount of stress in that bullpen, I can only imagine.
I can too. Really, they're going to have to focus a lot right here and stay through the zone with their barrels, make sure that they're watching good pitches, and really being smart with their batting situations.
Strike 1. And McCutcheon has a 341 average coming into tonight and the most at-bats, and he gets a foul there. But that's one of the guys you want to trust on the plate to start out an inning that's a do-or-die situation. Even though he's been struck out 25 times, that's somebody you want to trust.
Yeah, and really, it's not just an individual type aspect of all this. You want to be able to have trust in all these players that are going up to bat, and so coaches always have trust with them up to bat. That's why they always put them in a position of where they're at, because they know what they can do, how they play. So trust is everything when it comes to baseball and their teams, because you put those players in a position and you trust them to do their position right and make sure that they make good contact when they're hitting and make good plays when they're fielding.
Full count now for McCutcheon, the man who is number 3 usually but is wearing the jersey number 20. Faces the full count and gets a piece of it, gets right past the pitcher, and 2 outs left on the Eagles' season.
Now batting number 5, the center fielder, Evan Gillum.
And Gilliam, and like you said, it's a matter of trusting all of the team players here, but a 379 average and 473 on base. Gilliam, another person they want to trust in this situation. Grounder right to the first baseman, muffs the catch, and 1 out left on the Eagles' season.
Great fielding by C.J. Clark right there, and to block it up with his body, keep the ball in front of him, pick it up, and take it for himself to get the second out of the inning and possibly the game.
Record steps up with a 386, and flashing back to the 7-5 victory the Green Jays had earlier, and a grounder goes straight back to the outfield, and base hit for Record. So runner on first, but going back to the 7-5 victory for the Green Jays, the intensity that lasted all throughout, the Eagles really wanted to stay in the winner's bracket, and the storyline that has happened for the Green Jays thus far has been incredible, and I'm sure both of us, we can only imagine what we're going to see tomorrow, assuming that the Green Jays see this through.
I know, and really, it should surprise everybody of how come they started in the wild card
And there's
bracket.
a pop-up hit. If the Green Jays could speak, they
Right
would
fielders
say,
got it.
"Hello, Senators!" 16-6. The Green Jays are headed to the championship. 16-6 the final. The Green Jays at 11 a.m. tomorrow are facing off for the championship against the Walter State Senators, the defending conference champions, a rematch of the winners final.
For your attendance, and again, the championship game will be tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock tomorrow, the Green Jays and the Senators, and let's just preview that one a little bit, Austin, because the amount of things we're about to see tomorrow is going to be incredible. And pulling up the stats real quick for the Walter State Senators, they're trying to pull what Dyersburg State did several years ago in back-to-back championships. But for Walter State, you look at all of their baseball stats compared with Jackson State, with just a preview here. Let's see if we can get a camera angle going here, and we will. Spencer Thompson and Austin Ray. Austin Ray will. 1 second, I got somebody trying to get my attention here. Spencer Thompson, Austin Ray. We're now heading into game 16 of 17 tomorrow at 11 o'clock. The championship is set between the Walter State Senators and the Jackson State Green Jays. Both teams have faced off against each other. The score 11-7 on that. So the Green Jays can fight against those Senators. That's the big thing. Looking at the stat lines, everything will be updated tomorrow, of course. But the Green Jays going into tomorrow, they're 13th in the nation in shutouts, and Walter State is first in the nation in shutouts, but the only one who has had a shutout in this tournament, Jackson State in the wild card against the Rowan State Raiders. But the other stat lines for the Senators make up for it. First in the nation in hits, second in runs, second in total games, second RBIs, fifth in extra base hits, sixth in home runs. Just you look at the Senators, and they don't have all of the firepower that they had last year when they were runner-up for the Nationals, but they're still a strong team, not just going into this championship, but potentially going to the World Series, potentially going to the World Series matchup in Grand Junction.
Yeah, and I want to go ahead and start off saying that this isn't going to be the first time that Jackson State faces Walter State. And if you look over, once we look over here, and they were for a little bit, they were actually competing with Walter State for a little bit. They did end up losing to Walter State 7-2, but other than that, it was actually a really good game so far. You're seeing great plays made. You're seeing big hits, chasing after pitches, and making an effort to go out there and really compete with each other. So just that one game alone, it was a great game. And from that game on, we kind of already knew what to expect if we were to see them again. So it's really been actually really cool to see. And starting off, Jackson State was in the wild card game. They started moving up, getting a win streak going. Ended up losing to Walter State. That was their very first loss. So after that, they're really going to want to win right there. They're really going to want to win, have a comeback on the last time that they faced them. The pitching was good. I won't be shocked that they pitched their ace. I'm pretty sure Walter State will more than likely pitch their ace too. Both of them great fastballs, both of them great breaking balls. So it's going to be a big sight to see, especially when you got great pitchers going against great hitters. And so you just wanted to stay focused on the fact that getting the barrel through the zone and make sure you're getting the line drives and living on the errors. Walter State's good at that. Jackson State, they had a few errors here and there, but that's just something to work on, and that's just one way to really win the game.
Any final that obviously you gave that, obviously with all of that, the storylines, of course, the box scores through the tournament. Walter State beat the Volunteer State Pioneers in the first round 9-2. 17-9 was actually the score of their matchup against the Tigers, and 7-2 against Jackson State to advance to the championship. But look at the Green Jays, where they've come from as a wild card team, and under C.J. Wright and many different stars. They have the only shutout of the tournament, 8-0 in the wild card, 7-4 over the Montlow State Bucks, 11-7 over the Eagles in their first matchup, 11-7, and with that loss to Walter State, they went on to face off against the Eagles again in the losers bracket and get the victory of that final score. We'll show you one more time, 16-6. So any final thoughts going into this epic matchup we have? Firstly, if the Green Jays pull off the ultimate upset and force Game 2 for the championship, who's going to win this championship?
Really, Walter State, they're the ones that won last year. So right now they got the bigger influence. They got the upper hand on it. But Jackson State, they're really good at what they're doing right now. If I was to give both teams advice, really for Jackson State is to really focus on the hitting aspect, the fielding aspect, instead of the hitting aspect, because they already got the hitting down to a T. They're doing great. And hitters like C.J. Clark had 2 home runs this game, so you already know he can hit. And the players falling behind him, they could do their part too. So my thing with the Green Jays are focus on the fielding, limit the amount of errors to no errors, because that's really going to hurt them the most, and to also be smarter with their playing decisions as well. And that's where some of the errors come in. Could have had easier tags, could have had easier throws, but other than that, that's the only advice I can give to the Green Jays. For Walter State, I can assure you that their game plan is going to be going according to plan, as it has been for the past few days. And so to also, and the advice is to keep focusing on their hitting. Walter State's got some great infielders, amazing outfielders, especially the right fielder that has the big arm back there. Line drive throws all the way at third base, almost to the wall. So keep those in mind for whenever that happens, and really be focusing on the hits and the pitching for Walter State, because that's really what they're going to be needing to go against the Green Jays.
A championship for the ages set for tomorrow. The final score here, 16-6. The Eagles are headed back to Dyersburg, and the Jackson State Green Jays are headed to the championship against the Walters State Senators. We'll have that live for you. Our broadcast will begin at about 10:15 tomorrow, because we will do the starting lineups, national anthem, and everything. And first pitch at 11 o'clock tomorrow. For Austin Ray, I'm Spencer Thompson. Thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. Game 16 is tomorrow for the title and a trip to to Grand Junction, Colorado, with a slot in the NJCAA World Series tournament. Have a pleasant night, everybody.